There's a view that greed is corrupting science, and it is this challenging view that all of us are greedy and we're looking for the best way to get ahead within the scientific game. I want to talk about that today, and I want to tell you how we can actually prevent greed from corrupting science. And it's a counterintuitive, difficult thing for all of us to admit. So, what is this view in terms of greed corrupting science? That there are politically greedy individuals that exist within the scientific game. And those greedy individuals are everywhere. They're out there trying to get more citations. They're out there trying to get more funding. They're out there to look out for themselves. They are motivated because they think that they are somehow better than everybody else. Now, this view that greed is corrupting science, I think it's a very real, legitimate thing. And I do think that there are many individuals that do this. But I'm going to tell you this right now, before you get too upset with me, is that I think that scientists and researchers around the world are just human beings. And they're just like you and I. And I get greedy sometimes when I am in a room and I see potato chips and everybody else is eating potato chips. Man, do I ever remember eating those potato chips as quickly as possible. When I was a kid, we didn't get potato chips then very often. I was in a big family, and there was 5 of us, and we would have potato chips maybe once a month or once every other month. And that was a real special treat in our house. And when all of us got that bag of potato chips, it would be a frenzy. And we would eat as many of those potato chips as we possibly can. We would be stuffing them in our mouths as much as we possibly can. Why am I telling you this? It's because when there's a shortage of resources and everybody feels that there are a shortage of resources and those potato chips are only there and they're the only ones that we have to fight over, then we all become a little greedy. And we all want to do more and get more with those resources than we currently can get access to. And so we really want to work really hard to get all of those resources at that particular moment. Now, does this happen in science as well? Yes, absolutely. Many people behave in this kind of way, where they try to be as greedy as they possibly can and get as many resources as they possibly can. Now, can we stop it is the other question. I don't think so on the macro level. And I'm just going to say that simply because we're human beings. And the only way that we can stop this on the micro level, where people are not going to abuse other people and be greedy and all that kind of stuff, the only way that we could do that is we make a personal choice. And we determine ourselves, not collectively. You can't wait on other people. You can't say that if I'm the only one here, then nobody else is going to do this thing. And you can't wait for everybody, the institutions to get together, all of the gods of the institutions to get together to say, hey, wait a minute, we are all going to collectively not be greedy. That's not how this works. How it works is you decide and you say at most times. Now, I'm not going to say all times because I know that we're all human beings and we get emotional. We have feelings. We don't feel good at certain moments, and we behave in ways that, sometimes we don't necessarily feel good about later on. But collectively, by ourselves, if we decide, we make a simple decision that I'm going to, at most, as many times as I possibly can, I am going to say I'm going to be as kind and generous and least greedy as I possibly can, depending on whether you believe that or not. that I'm going to make that concerted effort, that I am going to be a generous, kind individual in science, in general, that I strongly believe it actually makes a difference. And I strongly believe collectively, if enough people actually do this, and I know that that is silly. I get it. I understand. I know all of the research. Well, I don't know all of the research, but I know that there's people that game the system. I know that if you're a generous human being, that other people do take advantage of you. I know that if you're perceived as a weak person, that yes, other people take advantage of you. I know all of those kind of things. I'm very well aware of all of that stuff. But if we collectively all decide to be assholes, everybody else is going to be an asshole too. But if we collectively decide deep down inside, and I know that, hey, this is a lose-lose situation when you decide this, but I want to be the person that is going to take a stand and try to be kind and try to reach out to other people. Or when I walk around, despite the fact that I'm really nervous, or despite the fact that I really don't want to do this, or despite the fact that, man, I am just not doing well today, that I'm going to try to say hi as best as I can. And I'm going to try to make a concerted effort every day to do this, to change how we actually look at the world. And maybe I don't change everybody. Maybe the scientific community never recognizes any of these efforts, but I'm going to try. And I'm going to try to change myself, who I am, so that I can see the world and say, you know what? You know, the rest of the world is greedy. The scientific community, yeah, they're greedy just like everybody else, but I'm going to try to do my best. And my best might not be great today, but it's going to be better than if I don't try to do my best. And I'm going to really try to make an effort every day to try to be generous, to be kind, to be a human being where I am going to try to help out other people. And that's my job, is to repeatedly do that day in and day out, despite how other people view me, despite the fact that lots of people are going to say that you're crazy and why you're doing that. You should be strategic in as many ways as you possibly can. But I'm not. I'm going to try to be kind. And I think that's how you change all of this. So if we collectively, whatever that looks like, decide not to do it, and we put filters on, we reserve just a little bit and say, I'm going to try to be generous, and I'm not going to try to be greedy. And if we do that one by one by one by one by one, which I know is impossible, and I know is a hard problem, but if we do that, then it's going to feel a little less greedy. But if we all decide collectively to eat those potato chips in the room as fast as we possibly can, everybody eats those potato chips as fast as they possibly can, and they all get tummy aches. And everybody looks and says, where are the rest of the potato chips? There's a good lesson that my parents taught me many, many years ago. And they simply just said, that's all the potato chips, and it's all gone. So it's your choice. You can choose to view the world in a greedy way, and I do that a lot. But I also try to view the world that I'm trying to make the world just a little bit better. I'm trying to be a little bit more generous, trying to actually take one more step towards making a world that I want to live in, that I think is a wonderful world. I don't know what that looks like, but I'm going to try every day. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.